What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. There's a lot that needs to be talked about, so let's go. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is, if you guys don't know about this whole Balch Springs officer trial, well, you should. A former white police officer was found guilty of murdering on Tuesday in April of 2017 on the shooting of an African American teenager and could basically face up to life in prison. Now, the officer, Roy Oliver, has testified that he was defending his partner when he fired into a car leaving a house party in the Dallas suburb of Balch Springs. Jordan Edwards, who was 15 years old, he was a freshman honor roll student who was just sitting in the front passenger seat, who was killed instantly from this gunshot. And the incident became a flashpoint in North Texas and nationally. A lot of concerns about racism and police brutality. Now, Oliver is the second police officer, former officer in Dallas County to be found guilty of murder this year in connections with a civilian death. And more than a dozen uninformed police officers lined the walls of the packed courtroom as the verdict was read. Now, the jury, which deliberated 13 hours, found Oliver guilty of murder, but not guilty of 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and by a public servant. And Philip Stinson, an associate professor of criminal justice at Bowling Green State University, said that for an officer to be convicted of murder resulting from an on-duty shooting, the facts of the incidents had to be so bizarre that there's basically no rational explanation of the officer's actions. And he said this on, this professor tracks police misconduct, and he says, I think that the shooting into a car full of teenagers as they slowly drive down the street away from the officer fits that pattern. Now, during the reading, where the family wants Oliver to be severely punished. Now, Oliver and his partner Tyler Gross have been dispatched in response to neighbor complaints about a party with drunk high school students, and there was no alcohol at this party, none whatsoever, and the mood was cordial and even playful, with Oliver and Gross joking with the partygoers. And then things changed quickly as there were gunshots going on in a nearby parking lot, and which was later determined to have been fired into the air by gang members. Now, footage from the body cameras of the police officers show the chaotic scene where teenagers fleeing the residential streets, and one of them, Oliver, went to the patrol car and retrieved his rifle while Gross stopped one car, leaving the party, and attempted to stop the Impala, slowed down driven by Jordan's stepbrother, Vidal Allen. Now, Oliver is said to have, as the Impala slowly backed away from Gross, he heard his partner reading the car license plate on the radio, and Oliver basically, took action into his own hands, everything else on the way. Gross walked to the passenger side of the vehicle and broke the back window and said, "Stop the effing car." Oliver then fired 5 rounds into the car in less than 1 second. And one of those shots struck Jordan, who warned the others in the car to duck, get down, and everything else along the way. Now, you guys are probably thinking, who is former officer Roy Oliver? Well, he wanted to become a protector. He's 38. He was raised by a single mother, worked through high school and dropped out during his senior year, wanted to be a firefighter but had a low test score, and went to seek points given to veterans. He enlisted in the Army, in which he did 2 counts in Iraq. Now, within the shooting, Oliver was fired from Balch Springs and in his 6-year tenure as a licensed peace officer. And, he had disciplined once before for losing his temper with an assistant district attorney during the trial, and this was brought up to the jurors. Now, with all the evidence and everything else on the way, Oliver received 15 years in prison. 15 years for killing a 15-year-old young man who was a really good, well-known student at his school. He was on the freshman honor roll. He was well-known by his coach in football, and yet this police officer got 15 years in jail. That doesn't sound right. This to show how screwed up our system is in the justice system, and how they just think, oh, because he is a different race, he can, we're just gonna let this go, somewhat scot free. But that should not be the case. If he killed this young man, he should be in jail for life. No, no, just point blank, he should be in jail for life for murdering this young man who didn't get the chance to go to college, didn't get a chance to, he's not gonna get a chance to like be there for a senior year, or anything else on the way. This just got to stop no matter what. If police officers say, oh, we are going to, we're going to stop this. You have so much going on. There's multiple ways of stopping somebody. You don't have to just automatically straight up pull your gun out and just start shooting. It's so sad and so idiotic for our nation to even go through all this, no matter what. The next two things I want to talk about, they're kind of like tied in together in some way, is about Aretha Franklin and John McCain. So on Friday, Aretha Franklin had her funeral, and it was a funeral that was very well fit for a legend. There was so much to be remembered by it. Former Bill Clinton and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton were there as Aretha groupies, talking good word about her. Smokey Robinson saying his touching goodbye to her. There were so many wonderful performances from Stevie Wonder, Jennifer Hudson, Ariana Grande, and so many more artists as well. Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton in there talking about how great she was, and how no matter what, she just kept singing and kept moving forward towards life, and how she will always bring, she always had a determined look towards the future. And a lot was going on, and there was even an awkward moment during this whole funeral between Ariana Grande and Bishop Charles H. Ellis III. So after Ariana Grande sung "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman," as written by Miss Franklin, he kind of had a awkward greeting towards Ariana Grande on stage. There's basically images of Ellis' hand around Ariana Grande above her waist, with his fingers pressing up against one of her chests. And a lot of people are just going, what's why is he like in a way grabbing her like that and everything else on the way? And the preacher apologized, and in an interview at the ceremony, at the cemetery where Miss Franklin was to be buried on that day. And he said that it was never my intention to touch any woman's breast. I didn't know. I put my hand around her. He said maybe I crossed the border. Maybe I was too friendly, but familiar. But again, I do apologize. And he said that he hugged like all the performers and everything else on the way. And many people posted close-up pictures of that moment on Twitter, hashtagging it Respect Ariana. And along with that, he also apologized to Ariana Grande fans, because he was making a joke about how he thought Ariana Grande was something off the Taco Bell menu. Yeah, you should probably not have said that, but this was all about Miss Aretha Franklin and how wonderful she was as a singer. And growing up, I listened to her, and she was just phenomenal. She blew my mind. She probably was one of the main reasons why I love singing and so much more. And I'm going to remember her, and I'm going to miss her so much. And then I was talking about John McCain, how I said that these two are connected in a way. As you all know, John McCain's funeral was this weekend as well, and his was to be remembered as well too. McCain's daughter Megan and former President Barack Obama, along with former President George W. Bush, made sure that John McCain was remembered as a hero. His daughter said that the America of John McCain has no need to make America great again because America was always great, in reference to Trump's presidential campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again." Yeah, and along with that, like I said, former George W. Bush made tribute to Mr. McCain as well. He said, "John, as he will be first to tell you that he was not a perfect man, but he dedicated his life to the national ideas that they are perfect as the men and women who have yet been conceived, and everything else. He was a motivational by a vision of America carried ever forward, ever upward, and on the strength of its principles." Now, McCain will be buried on Sunday at his alma mater, the U.S. Naval Academy, next to his best friend from the class of 1958, Adam Chuck Larson. And there was also a moment during that funeral that was like a sweet moment where between former President George W. Bush and former First Lady Michelle Obama. And those two, whenever they get together, the Bushes and the Obamas, it's always sweet and it's always nice. Well, basically, the moment was captured by camera during when Senator Joe Lieberman gave his eulogy to McCain, and they were both sitting in the political VIPs section and the attendants of the funeral. Now, Bush was grabbing a mint from his wife, his wife, former First Lady Laura Bush, and then passing it to Michelle Obama, and she said thank you with a smile on her face. Now, again, like I say, it's always beautiful when you see an impact like that going on between two former presidents and two former ladies and everything else on the way. The Bushes and the Obamas have always done great things for our nation. Some of you guys would disagree, but it's everyone's opinion. But yes, both Aretha Franklin and John McCain will be remembered for all the great things they've done, and no matter what, just remember all of the good things that you've had with them. And with that being said, I want you guys to tell me what is on your mind about Aretha Franklin, about John McCain, about the Balch Springs, outcome of everything along the way. And let me know anything else that's on your mind. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let the people know I am out there for you guys, because I'm always out there for you guys, getting the good word and making sure you guys get the good word. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I love all you guys no matter what. Peace out.